with mom, the monk life? What do
I
you
had
remember of that?
one lifetime where I was with your mom, and we were both monks, and she was a younger one and sort of my apprentice. And so I felt I had to protect her. Maybe that's why in this life I've always felt I had to protect her. But she has her super strong beliefs, so that's always been our one of our strong links, that we both have such a strong connection with God. Different, but it doesn't matter. It's one God. So that's always been our strong link with each other. Um, yeah. So in Mu, yeah, it was some sort of priestess there. There was another one in Polynesia where I was also some sort of shaman. So it's always been stuff like that. Um,
Was there something
Lonely.
with the dolphin, or no?
No, that was when I was paddleboarding, and I saw this dolphin, and all of a sudden the dolphin unlocked some memories in me that I had with my mom when I was like 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We had this fight, and I kept saying I wanted to see my dad, and she said, "If you mention him again, you'll never talk to me again. I'll never talk to you again." And I kind of swallowed that and kept it
Mm.
locked in my brain. And that day, that dolphin showed up, and I felt the urge to say, "I choose my dad." And when that happened, and Bea told my mom said, "Oh, I know where that's coming from," and she told the story. Her words came true. I mean, the power of the words.
Mm.
Um, but then, I guess around the pandemic, I continued chanting, and we came here, and I continued chanting, and then we met Vino, right, from the
Mm-hmm.
temple, and he was the president of the temple at the
Hare
time,
Krishna temple, yeah.
and he said, if you're going to chant here, he gave me these special beads, and he said these are special because every round counts like 10,000 rounds, and so I have them. I still do it, and you're only required to chant 2 rounds daily, which is worth like 20,000 or whatever. And I do 42 because by doing 42, I do my 2 daily ones, and every year, then the other 40 count for 20 years that I maybe didn't do them. So after 3 years, I will have covered my entire life of doing them.
Wow.
And I told him that, and I've had. He told me, he says, because I've had several very clear visions of Krishna this time. So this time I know for sure it's him that was walking on my right shoulder. And now when I turn, I see him. Every time I turn and I go, there he is. And I've had a couple visions of him. One day I woke up here in the bed and he was lying there in the air looking at me. And Vino says that he only shows up, you can only see him in your mind when he wants it to happen. So these are all, we've gotten together. Every time I want to see him, we meet in this sort of like a little island in the sky. It's a little piece of rock where we sit in this ledge, and he shows me the universe. You see the whole, not one universe, but all the universes in front of him. And we talk while we watch all the universes. So it's pretty cool. Every time I want, we can do that. And so that's I'm clear now. I've followed all the precepts of the Krishna movement, the do's and don'ts. I had stopped eating all sorts of meat, but then with a heart thing, I kind of had to give up on not eating the fish. So I've been doing that. I have no choice. But other than that, everything, I follow all the precepts. I've been reading the books. I'm finally on the 10th one, which are the Krishna books, which are the ones Lolita, my sister, translated, which is awesome. And Reno told me I was going to have one big health challenge, and I think that was the hard thing, and I'm pretty sure I passed it pretty well. I never really bothered me in any sense. I mean, today it's 8 weeks.
Wow.
And yesterday I rode 1 hour, 5 minutes on the rower. Like nothing. I mean, I wasn't even pushing it. And the day before I rode 50 plus minutes. So in 2 days, 2 hours, I'm back. And I'm not even feeling tired or anything. So it's just, there's still some muscles that are torn from the cut. But they're like isolated here and like here, but nothing, as far as the workout, nothing bothers. I'm not out of breath or anything like that. So he said that was my major challenge, so it's over. So now the only thing left is to see what God wants me to do. Vino wants me to be a trustee in this thing that he's organizing to help people around the world. So I'm taking it as, okay, that's service to Krishna, so I'll go ahead and do that. I don't know, I have no interest in getting money or anything from that. Things are, now I'm more focused on what I need to do, how I need to live my life, have my clear, strong relationship as a best friend. Different people have different relationships with him. Mine is as my best friend since I was a kid. I was 15 years old in New York, 13 in the military academy, 11 in the military academy. And he's always been there. I've been clear on that, but now it's really strong and clear. So now I'm just following one step at a time, whatever comes.
So what do you believe? Who are we and why are we here?
We're here because we chose to enjoy the three-dimensional existence, and God created it so that we could. And then in that process, we lost view of who we truly were, which is spiritual beings, and just thought of ourselves as gods in this world, and lost all sense of relationship with God. And so now we're stuck here trying to recover that essence. And once we do, we'll go back to being who we truly were. And I think that's what's going on, and that explains everything, reincarnation and suffering and all that stuff, because everything's due to our choices in our forgetfulness. And God pleases us. He's in our heart, so He knows our desires, and if our desires are to have sense gratification, He'll give it. He'll create the conditions for us to do that. But He knows that all that just pulls us farther apart from Him. And so it'll just take longer, more births, more death, more old age, more disease. So once you realize that that's all just an illusion, and that your real true nature is your spiritual nature, then you're ready to go back home to the spiritual world and stay there and go back to being who you truly are.
So that's what happens when we die?
Well, eventually it's going to it depends. Once you reach that level, it will happen when you die. Yep. You'll be at a point where your thoughts will be all about God, and then you're ready to go back. Because there's nothing here to hold you back.
But most people, when they die, what happens? Like the average person?
You have to talk to Vino about that. You end up having to go through different transformations. There's different places where you end up depending on where your level is, and but once the only place, according to Vino, the only place where you can reach liberation is here. And so wherever you end up, heavenly planets, whatever, or hellish planets, you run out of your good karma, you come back here. You burn your bad karma, you come back here. So after many births or deaths or whatever, and it's here where you can achieve it. And he says that that's why a lot of, for example, according to him, he says there's all our ancestors end up in these heavenly planets, and they're happy because life is better there than here. And then they come back and they make contact with us or whatever, but they never contact him because he's going to tell them the truth, that they're fooling themselves. Work isn't over yet. Heavenly planets are not the spiritual planets. So you're not there yet. You're going to end up coming back here. And I agree with that. So, yep. So.
What about, what did Deborah say about starseed and what was all of that?
I don't remember now. That's all gone. I've
You don't
kind
believe
of
that?
left all that in the past. Once I.
But do you remember what she had said about Daddy and?
No. Once I realized what my true relationship was, I left all that behind. All the yoga, all that stuff. I don't need any of that stuff.
What about the knowing and Tassos?
No, it's there, but
what was it?
I don't know. It's just you can access certain higher dimensional places. Just like when you talk about the Akashic records, you can access that. Then one thing is to access it and see where all the knowledge is, and another one is to be able to bring it down.
The knowing.
Yeah, but I haven't tried any of that. I'm just focused on my chanting.
But it was part of your journey. I remember the knowing and the journals.
Yeah, but it's just like.
But not that you believe it now, but that's why I'm asking. It was part of your journey.
Yeah, it was, but I mean, I don't remember much because I haven't thought about it.
And the journals and.
Yeah.
What was the name of Paul?
Yeah, but that's all. I don't know. It's limited.
In what way?
Now I have a relationship directly with God, which I always had, but now it's clear. So I don't. All that other stuff is superfluous.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me get here, but I mean, none of it is important. None of the yogas are important. None of the methods. None of that stuff. The psychic power. No, none of that stuff is important anymore. You don't need any of that to get back to the spiritual world.
Did you have a daily practice of meditation?
Yeah, I did Kriya Yoga. I did it for 20 plus years, daily.
Mm-hmm.
But not anymore. Nope.
So how would you define God?
Person. He's a person.
Personal.
All power person. All powerful, all omniscient, all, everything you can say, he's that. He is that. But he is a person. He's not an energy or an abstraction.
Mm-hmm. Anything else from your journey or from for the future or anything?
I'm just going one step at a time, listening to what he has to tell me,
mm-hmm.
and just doing my chanting. That's all I need to do. That's all we're asked to do in this age of materialism. So that's enough. It's a gift God gives us. He says if you chant and remember me, and that's all you need to do. There's nothing more. You don't need to do yoga. You don't need to do all whatever sacrifices or any of that stuff that they used to do in other.
What is the chant?
Hare Krishna mantra.
What, you want to say it?
It's okay. It's fine. People can find out about it. It's just the Hare Krishna mantra. It's called Krishna Kirtanan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that's it. That's all you need to do to free yourself from this world.
Okay. All right.
That's it. I mean, yeah.
Anything else?
Nope. It's simple now. That's the whole thing. It's simple. It had to be simple. It can be complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Complication is human creation.
Yeah.
If it comes from God, it has to be simple.
The truth, usually simple.
Yep.
All right.